Today, me and Kayla are going to be talking about the history of trenches. Trenches were long, deep ditches dug as a protective defense. Trenches were 400 feet long and 4 to 6 feet deep. Trenches were first created in 1914. The main purpose of the trenches were to keep enemies out and have some sort of shelter. Soldiers would die because they would get trapped in dirt and then they would suffocate. Trenches were in no man's land. No man's land is an area between two opposing trench systems. They had barbed wire surrounding them to keep enemies out. People got many diseases from trenches: trench foot, trench fever, and etc.
Do you think trenches had a big effect on the war? Why or why not?
Oh, absolutely. The entire purpose of World War I was an attempt to break through the enemy trench line. So without any trenches whatsoever, there wouldn't have been anything to break through.
Trenches are used today to train Army for trench warfare. Trenches have improved. They don't have dirty water in them. They are a lot cleaner. Also, you can't get diseases.
If we went to war, do you think using trenches would be a good idea? Why or why not?
So I think that in World War I, the technology of the time definitely meant that trenches were necessary. Today, you'd have to look at the technology of the time, but in my opinion, I would be very afraid of a modern day war today, because instead of having a no man's land of 100 yards, today it would be a no man's land of 100 miles, and trenches would absolutely be necessary.
The soldiers had everyday tasks when they lived in trenches, like clean weapons, repaired barbed wire, and trench walls. The soldiers had to keep watch because the enemies could attack at any time. They worked in shifts. Every morning, soldiers would stand to. This is when they stand up and prepare for battle, because many attacks would take place first thing in the morning. Trenches were dug by soldiers. Sometimes they would build the trenches by extending a trench on one end. People in trenches ate beef, bread, and biscuits.
When the soldiers dug trenches, they always made them narrow. They made the trenches in the Western Front. Trenches were the central nervous system of the battle.